this market crash has literally put people in their place as far as the bull side of traders. But there's so much volume and advantage going on in this market right now, and people are frustrated and not understanding how to capitalize on it. Okay. So just take this for instance. I mean, we had a phenomenal bull market these past couple of years, to be honest. But in this whole market, we've seen the S&P 500 make some crazy moves. So with it pushing up, everybody's used to making money on the upside of trades, constantly making upside money. And in that sense, they don't know how to capitalize when the markets are crashing. They panic, they pull their money out. Every trade they get in is constant losing battle. But there's so many options out there, guys. If you don't know how to be versatile in this market, nobody can make it. And that's what literally separates the 5% of traders that do make it out there versus the 95% who are in the shoes of frustration. Okay. So in this market, it's been a little shaky. I'm not going to lie. It's been very up and down, wishy-washy, but being versatile, being cash only every day, there's very few plays I'm actually swinging overnight. Meaning holding the play overnight and trading it the next day. So with that said, probably 90% of the traders that I talk to and teach every day have accounts smaller than the 25K, PDT rule. So all they want to do is swing plays, and it's dangerous. You got to really know what you're doing in order to grow a small account. So with that being said, I want to cover some plays, some topics, some areas that we've been facing lately. And it's very frustrating, like I said, for the common trader, if you don't understand how to change your style of trading when the markets are playing the opposite direction. And to be honest, there's a lot of these plays that we've been capitalizing on. There's been millionaires being made left and right off of this crash. But if you guys can't understand how to do it, I understand the frustration. So with that being said, S&P 500 is literally fallen off all the way from 339 all the way to a low of, I think, 285 last week. And we've been playing this chart as far as options apparently on it, ups and downs constantly, looking for trends, okay? And with that said, it becomes, if you can understand how to chart a play, okay, you're going to understand how to see the resistance and the support lines and know when to go long and know when to go short. And you're like, Mike, I can't short a play. Why I'm frustrated. I can't short the play, even though I want to, my account is, I'm stuck. I can't short plays. So with that said, there is options to short plays on a cheaper version of just buying puts as an option. And that's how 90% of these guys have been playing, downsides of big stocks like Apple, Tesla, Disney, all these different sources of stocks that really make the downside good just as much as the upside good. But I want to go ahead and touch on some stocks like, that we've got over here, but VXX, okay? VXX is like a reverse ETF of SPY, okay? And I just want to go and show this to you, but you're looking at VXX here, and it's made some moves from, what was it, on February 20, from a low of $13 to a high of $32, okay? Massive upside, and it's playing the opposite. When SPY is going down, VXX is going up, okay? And capitalizing on these upside plays. If you can't play the downside of a play and you're so focused, you've got your mindset trained to just play the upsides of plays, then you guys want to focus on stuff like this and capitalize on it. And there is options available for VXX. So with it being said, it's been crazy to see this thing run. And I know there's been quite a few in the chat room that have been playing it and making some really good money. 300, 400, 800%, something like that on options. It's been crazy. But when you look at that play versus SPY over here, SPY's made this massive downtrend all the way from those high of 339s, and it was just a dump. And, us guys were playing it, trying to understand how this chart was going to build. But, it had a nice upward trend going there. And it's like, okay, well, this reverse is starting to grow. And with that said, it kept bouncing off this trend line. All of a sudden, I think it was Thursday, it took a nosedive where it cracked out right here. And it's seeing some crazy lows again. But it seems to be back on a downward trend. I mean, we will see, obviously, that 285 area has been kind of the key area to notice if it breaks back down through, and this is going to, drop down some more. We shall see, but it doesn't look very good, okay? And you got to realize a lot of this stuff that's been pushing these plays to the downside as far as the normal markets go is the coronavirus, okay? When the coronavirus is in crazy effect of media pushing it out there, 2 people dying here, 5 people dying here, and, another 100 cases over here of coronavirus, it impacts the markets, okay? If you guys can follow the world markets, understand how the world is operating a little bit, how that can really manipulate or change the market direction. Now, don't get me wrong, coronavirus is kind of a serious thing in some ways, but in my opinion, it's literally a bunch of crap being pushed in order to manipulate the markets for the downside. Okay, we've had, like I said, we've had this massive bull run, and people are they're tired of burning up as a short. So as they sense this play, the markets have been pushing up, and it's been pushed so hard by the media to make a correction. The market's got to have a correction. And in my past years of trading, election years have literally been the most common years for crap to happen in the markets. Okay. I don't know why it is every time election year. It's like every 2 years, there's election year with the Senate and the House and, some of the other stuff going on, but it makes things change a lot, every 2 years when the markets do this. So this being a huge crisis and everybody freaking out and everybody panicking and all this stuff, it's changing the markets. And obviously a lot of this stuff is run by algorithms, and algorithms have to adapt to what, the world stuff that's, world events that are going on. So a lot of it is where banks and institutions and big and large investors are pulling out their money and then all of a sudden buying the dip and trying to push it back up. Kind of like we saw SPY. What was it? Make a $7 to $8 move the last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes or so of close yesterday. And that was literally the Federal Reserve, institutions, big banks, something like that, pumping money into the stock to push it back up. And it takes a lot of money to make moves like this. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see that. And like I said, with that much money pumping in stocks, you guys got to be able to capitalize on it, on ups or downs, depending on what's happening, and understanding chart trends. Okay. Just understanding how charts are going to work when, you got to go short when a trend is broken and you're looking for downside and you got to buy that area of entry. It's good to understand how to play the short side versus just the long side. When you guys are just trying to play just long sides, it makes it difficult. Like I said, look at stuff like VXX. It's making an opposite move of SPY. And there's other stuff out there too, like, what's another one? TVIX. TVIX has made a crazy, crazy move, okay? This stock ran from, what was it, $40? Yeah, roughly 39, $40. Back on February 20. That's kind of when everybody started. Okay, it's the coronavirus epidemic, that's changing this up. And like I said, this is like another inverse ETF that's associated to when the S&P 500 falls, money gets pumped into these stocks. So as you see, from $40 on February 20 to a high of $201, that's crazy. I mean, just to capitalize on a move of that structure. In literally, 15 days. I mean, that's wild. I mean, why can't you guys make money on that? There's so much money and opportunity made in something like that, even holding long on stuff like this. It's crazy. So to miss it, it's a big opportunity wasted. But, like I said, there's all sorts of stuff coming out. And sectors have a large thing of how things play with world, events happening. And you guys need to focus on healthcare sectors, okay? When stocks like healthcare sectors are booming, I've got a watch list over here that shows me all my healthcare sectors running, okay? And some of these are generally green every single day. Like yesterday, we got specs flying. It's up 200%. INO is up there flying. And INO is another great example. APT was a great example. I'll just show APT right here. But, if you look at APT, it ran from, what was it? Again, look at this, from February 20, from $4 or $5 a share to a high of freaking 41.50. I mean, insane move. Okay, who doesn't have the money or capitalize to be able to take a $4 or $5 stock, hell, even $8, $9 stock and cents, to take advantage of that move? Of course, it pumped and then it dumped. So you've got to be able to take your profits, understand how to lock your profits, know when those signals of selling off starts to occur. And that was a crazy drop. But you gotta realize you could have played calls, option calls on the long side of that if you wanted to, as a cheaper alternative for smaller accounts, and then play puts on the downside. So understanding the whole charting process of how these trends and these crazy stocks are running, you gotta look back in history. Okay, Bitcoin stocks flew like crazy when Bitcoin was making its move up. Marijuana stocks, when weed and the farm bill and all that stuff was taking place, those stocks were flying high too. So you got to study hard. Okay, guys, you've got to understand that you can't just come to the day, look at whatever plays up on percent on the day, and then be like, what do I do? And be so all over the place and not making money. Okay, it takes a lot of structure, a lot of planning to understand these insane moves, these insane structures, and try to be on top of it before these plays make their moves. And as of lately, right now, the play that's getting a lot of attention, that's in the healthcare sector as well, is TTOO. Okay, this thing is just starting, in my sense. It's made a very massive downtrend, but it's hitting 52-week lows. People are speculating, okay, this has got to bounce soon, and it's starting to get its little bounce way down here, and it's in the healthcare sector, and it's come from way up here, back in November of last year. Let's see, what, $3, $3.50, $3.20, and this could make a nice move. Okay, it's got a tiny float, good small share structure in order to push a big move. So in a sense, we shall see how things roll. But in order to capitalize, you've got to put these stuff on your watch list. You've got to wait it out, use a lot of patience, and wait for that trade setup to come your way. They're not going to be there. It's not going to be instant. You got to sit on your hands, wait for trends to work out. And a lot of us guys capitalize on the move with SPY yesterday. Okay, I used 2-minute candles on a 2-day time frame, but I'll give you an example of kind of what our best trade on SPY was yesterday. Okay, it was right here where it had a wedge forming. Okay, can I give you this wedge? But it had a wedge forming. Okay, and what I mean by wedge forming is let me get my stuff here. My pencil. Okay, there it is. And what I mean by wedge for is you got supports. Okay, it's where the stock is literally rolling its way on up. It bounces on a resistance, comes back down, makes its move, and then bounces off that same support versus making that trend line. Okay, and then what do you know? It made a lower high right here, bouncing off of that upper trend line. And this was about the area where we all got excited. Okay, it's going to break through support. We're thinking downside on the stock. And this at this price was what, $2.94, roughly $2.94 a share, and it fell $4 a share. Okay, it came back up, tested that resistance, that old support, which is now resistance, could not break back through it, but made a perfect short position, short play to make a nice little 40% plus gain. Okay, on options. So with that being said, that was a great trade. And I know some guys that grabbed the calls right there for the play the upside. And you know what? Broke right through all this resistance and almost closed green on the day. Or broke the high a bit, I should say, right at it, which was roughly 298. And then kind of petered out for as far as sideways after close. But with that being said, it was a great move. This was downside play. This was upside play. I mean, this was roughly 40% down, 40% up. I mean, it's 80%. Who's not going to make money on that? And what I mean by examples, just think of it, small accounts. You got a cash account. What I like about cash accounts and options is that the funds settle literally the next day. Okay, you've got to understand that there is no PDT rules with cash accounts. You can day trade with cash accounts. And you do not have to have 25,000 plus to day trade it with. I mean, you can have $5,000 in a cash account, literally day traded every day. but just give you an example. If I used all $5,000 on one trade, um, you know, on a 40%, or just let's just say 20% move, I would have made, or 25% move. What is the math on that? Is that 20? I think it's $1,000. Yeah. So 20% move on 5 grand on a downside would have been $1,000. Had you held for the whole 40%, you would have turned $5,000 into $7,000. Okay. And that's how you grow those small accounts. I mean, just 40% on 5 grand is $2,000. 20% is $1,000. I mean, hell, if you just used 2 grand and made 20%, that's still $200, you know, or 2 grand. That's $400. Um, so with that being said, that's more than a lot of people with day jobs don't understand. Oh, well, I've got a tiny account and I can't make money and suffice and all this stuff. It takes a lot of consistency. Okay, guys, I'm not going to say trading is easy at all. I mean, it's probably one of the hardest things out there. But it takes a lot of knowing what you're doing in order to make it in this market. And I've come from a background of playing mostly OTC, for a good portion of my trading career. And I've, you know, with this market's, you know, taking a dump like this, I got to capitalize on it. So I can't just rush in and try to play just OTCs, which a lot of those lately have been nothing but pumps and dumps. And if you're not in early, you're not going to make it in the pump. So, you know, some of those are actually starting to get a little better. There's more catalysts coming out there, and, you know, OTC is what it is. It's a lot of fake stuff that goes on, but you got to understand how to capitalize on it. There's still money in OTC. It's a little slow, but I've come to the point where I've enjoyed, you know, playing options, you know, on the ups and downs of this crazy market and making huge money on it. So with that said, guys, I know this is a lot of rambling from me, but if you guys have any questions, you've always got, you know, I'm always trying to teach people how to trade, beginning stages. It shouldn't be confusing for you guys. And I want to make it the best, you know, the best I can for new traders. And I have so many new traders coming in the chat room all the time, and, you know, they're frustrated. They're losing money constantly. They don't understand how to capitalize on this market. And like I said, you got to understand how to play the downsides just as much as the upsides. This is not the end. Market crashing, whatever it may do, this may, you know, we may see the S&P 500 fall another couple thousand points, you know. There is no telling when the end is near, but you better believe it that I'm going to be ready to buy the freaking dip. As far as for upside when it does go up. But I imagine when the bottom side is in, it's going to be a clear visual on it, and understand that how fast it's probably going to move back up. Now, it could take as long as the election, you know, till after the elections in November, as far as for upside. We shall see. But in the meantime, I'm going to be able to capitalize on the downside and the upsides. It's like I said, it's very crazy, the ups and downs on stocks lately. And you've got to sit on your hands. You've got to use some patience, use some discipline, understand what triggers you guys to take the trade, get in the trade, know your support, resistance, and your risk management, and kill those losses as quickly as possible and take some profits when you're, you know, making 10, 20% plus, depending on how your options are playing out for you. So anyway, guys, if you got any questions or concerns, feel free to comment in the video here below. I will be posting this on my Twitter. And hope I can get the word out there. If you guys need help on this, don't hesitate to message me. Also, guys, we do trade live every single day in our live screening chat. I'll go pull it up here for you, but it's a live screen chat where everybody gets to trade live with me. We've pulled out some massive runners over our live chat over the years, but I've got a video if you guys want to, you know, see what it is. But it's literally live stream trading with me, and working with us as a team. We've got over 20 active, I should say, in that live chat, that come in there every single day. We holler out support, resistance of plays. We take plays, we exit plays. Everything is signaled to play in and out, and it's a team effort, you know, to capitalize on these markets and understand it. And it's literally live streaming. I mean, you guys see the screen exactly what I have right in front of me right now. and I pull out the plays. You guys can chat back and forth with each other over voice, just like I'm talking now. And we discuss our days. We discuss our elements. And some of you guys, if you're new to this, don't hesitate to ask a question here. The way to make it in this market is literally asking questions and trying to work together as a team in order to capitalize on it. But like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. I love seeing the stories that I get from some of the members, being able to show that, hey, they made money. They're making money, and they're starting to feel confident in their trades. They're starting to understand how to trade and capitalize in these markets. And I've been able to help quite a few that actually left their day jobs to do this full time. And there's nothing better than to show that you can grow a small account. You can make an income off of it. But a lot of it comes down to how you act as emotional as a person, because emotions is literally, I want to say emotions is probably 90% of trading. If you don't got a handle on your emotions, when you got money involved with risk management and your rules, guidelines of how you're trading, then it's very tough to make it in this market, because you guys know the ups and downs and swings of trades can literally make you act one way or another. So with that being said, don't hesitate to ask me. It's a pretty crazy market we're in, but it's not an over with, and I got to throw my hands up and blow my account up type of market. Okay. And I want you guys to be able to be prepared for this. I do feel like SPY and all these other, markets as a whole is going to continue to drop more. I wouldn't be surprised to see the S&P 500, 260s, 270s, maybe as low as 240s. But I'm prepared to play the downside of it. I want to be consistent with it, make tons of money on the downside, and then make tons of money on the upside as well. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have in today's video. But if you got any questions, feel free to comment, like this video, subscribe for more. I want to keep everybody updated as far as things going on. And hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.